Welcome to Karaoke Wine with Jules and Tessa.
Welcome. Karaoke Wine.
Yes.
So Excited to be here. Per usual.
Second one of the day.
Yes. Briosa, we love you. Thank you for the sponsorship.
Have to be 21 and over, guys.
21 and over.
Yes.
So we have a great topic today.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, I just want to say that we reached another milestone with our learning podcasting. This is the second time
We're filming this
filming this episode.
Yes, we had some audio issues.
Yes. So
cheers to the second time around.
Cheers. Honestly, really proud of us. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
Yum.
So why don't you tee up this episode, because you're the one that actually did all the research.
I did.
I did no work.
So I obviously doom scrolling on Instagram. I found this clip and men categorize women.
Shocking.
During the dating process. Weird. And so I did the research. I went through Google, ChatGPT, all of the things to find, do women categorize men? And Jules and I were like, we don't really do that.
Yeah.
However,
We did
today
for this topic. We were like, okay, what is the women's equivalent
of these things?
of what they categorize women as?
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to jump into the categories so you guys can know what they are. And I'm just curious for all of our men that listen to us and women, do you guys categorize people? Have you ever? Did we miss one? Is there something else that you would include? Like, tell us all the things.
Yeah.
Tell us all the things.
We love the engagement.
Yes. Give us all of the feedback. All right. So starting at number one, drum roll. We have Miss Desperado.
Oh, the desperate girl.
The desperate girl. Now, to clarify what we mean by desperate girl, this is the girl that this man may or may not have ever entertained, I guess. We haven't determined that. Potentially entertained at one point or never entertained at all.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they never entertained at all, they wouldn't even be friends with them.
I agree.
I feel like the desperate girl happens after like a one night stand. Oh no,
I'm smiling because probably I've been that girl maybe for 2.2 seconds.
I mean, but I feel like the desperate girl is the girl that's never been given the chance.
I just don't like the word desperate.
It's a really bad word.
Yeah.
Let's like try to think of like a movie character that might,
Oh, I know one.
Okay.
I'm smiling because I'm thinking about all the scenes. Remember in Van Wilder, the college one with Ryan Reynolds?
And Tara Reid back in her prime.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember the girl, blonde hair. She was a sorority sister, and she was trying to get with the sorority.
Tara Reid's boyfriend.
Yes, the frat boy. And she was like, do you need a cookie? Do you need a muffin? Do you need this? Do you need sex? And then when they actually had sex, she was like, this is a really good time. And we should do this again.
Yeah. She was literally like doing something during it, like non-pleasurable, by the way.
She was literally saying those words.
Like, it was just like, I don't feel like she
wasn't like a sexual being at all. It was a very mechanical bull situation.
Drop the quarter in and go.
Yeah. Very.
Like, what are those rest of
It's like, I really like this room. Yes. You like this acting out that I'm doing.
Okay, wait. First of all, Van Wilder, fucking classic.
God, if you have not seen that movie, you need to download it right now.
Immediately. Watch it. Oh, God, Ryan Reynolds in that movie is so good.
Be cool. Stay in school.
Yeah.
7 years.
The guy slips on the oil out the window.
Yeah, and then he like lights himself on fire. Yeah.
Oh.
Goes into like worst dates category.
I was trying to give her a massage and I literally flew out the window.
All right, so let's remember that girl.
Yeah.
Because I believe she's in one of these categories.
Okay, she's the desperate girl, isn't she?
No.
I'm
talking-
Yes. She is.
Yeah, carry on.
Carry on.
Oh, yeah. So the desperate
Yes.
girl, my equivalency, I put friend zone.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's an actual, like, match because my friend zone guys are not desperate. Actually, let's clarify.
I think we need to talk because I feel like the friend zone is not the friends that are your brothers.
Yeah, I was just thinking that
Yeah.
we had the same click
Yeah,
at the
we
same
did,
time
yeah.
because friend zone is guys that want to date you and you friend zone them. My guys
that are
friends, we were never in that situation
Right.
where it was sexual at all. It's more like a brother-sister relationship.
Agreed.
So I have to think about guys that I have friend zoned that are still my friends. I don't really have any because they kind of just drop off.
They do. I would say that Southern Charm has been friend zoned. We did it to each other. So it wasn't like this.
Yeah.
It was just an agreement that we.
But I also think like if you friend zone a guy and they know that there's just no hope, they're not going to stick around in your like hemisphere.
Yeah. So I wonder almost if the idea of friend zoning in this capacity is more manipulation on the woman's part to the friend, like asks him to do things for her, or maybe the man just misreading, like her being like, no, I just want to be your friend. But he comes over and like changes her light bulb or, you know what I mean? I wonder if there's like, it could,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
there could
Interesting.
be, yeah. I didn't think of that.
I'm gonna have to get back to you.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to circle
Yeah,
back.
we'll circle back to you guys, update the data.
But I still wouldn't characterize as that guy as desperate. Like that's not in my like vocabulary.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to my girlfriends and like, he is so desperate. He's just doing the most. No.
Right. And I think too, the desperate girl potentially becomes the desperate girl because she's being led on. I also, hello,
yeah.
me.
There's all these new like Gen Z words, and that should be another topic of like orbiting,
Yeah.
hemisphering, zombieing. Yeah, I was watching Summer House the other day and they were asking Kyle, like, do you know the new terms of dating? And he was like, absolutely not. It's a thing. But I feel like guys,
Hemisphering?
yeah, I don't know what it means, but orbiting, I do know what it means because it makes sense. Like he just kind of orbits you around like a busy bee.
Okay.
He stays in your hemisphere. Like, hello, still here. Don't forget about me. You want to fuck?
Okay.
He knows you like him, so he's like, hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think I get that.
yeah.
I don't know. I just like I've never been, I guess like the chasing him moment when I've come to the end of relationships before, I give it that one more hard like is this really what's going to be happening?
Okay.
So like, but that's at the end of like walking away from each other. But I don't think that's desperate. I'm not the person who's gonna like reach out to you 5 years later and
Absolutely
be like, "My
not.
God, remember that time in the hot tub?"
No.
Yeah, I don't do that.
No.
Okay, so moving on to number 2.
Yes.
The good time girl. Now, the good time girl is the girl you know you're gonna have a good time with. So she's the one you go out to the bar with. She's the one that is
She's fun.
Yeah, she's fun.
You would actually bring her around the friends.
You would. I am a self-proclaimed good time girl because I wanted to be the good time girl. No commitment is what I'm saying.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Every time I have been good time girl, I don't know if he classified me as that, but I definitely did.
Yes.
Because I was like,
100%.
I have no like, you know, I have a
Yeah.
boundary. I know it's not going to go anywhere, but like, let's
Like,
have fun.
I almost feel like when a man is giving that title to the girl, it's more of a she doesn't know what's happening, where I made it happen that way.
Yeah. You're like, you don't know, but I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, are we men?
You know, I think that's why
I swear I was a gay man in my past
I
life.
don't get triggered. I don't get
Yeah.
mad at things that like normal girls get mad at. I'm like, whatever. On you, bro.
Yeah.
You fucked up. On you. Bye.
Oh my God, that's so interesting.
Sociopathic. Like, bye. Cut you off.
The emotion's just not there anymore.
No.
It's very interesting. Cheers. Honestly, cheers to that.
Yes. Good time, girls.
Mm-hmm. Let
Listen,
the good times roll.
Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah. All right. So who's our equivalent?
Situationship.
Duh. Avi.
Yeah. You have no commitment, no plans for the future. You know what it is. Like you know,
it's a situation.
what did we call it back in the day? Hookup.
Yeah. Fuck buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what was it? Friends with benefits. That's like the OG.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, this is different, and we're going to get into it a little bit later because everyone's sitting there thinking situationship, but now I love him. We're not talking about
We're going
this
to tell
time.
you why.
We are going to tell you
A
why.
little later.
Yes. However, we do want to make the clarification. The situationship is a good time. Like, I think these two categories actually are very symmetrical.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
the girl with the situationship that just wants to have a good time, and the guy who's like, I just want to have a good time too, like no commitment. I actually had a really great moment in Chicago with a man who we were doing this together, and he was super ambitious, I was super ambitious, but we had a great time together. So, and then he ended up dating somebody that he like wanted to date more seriously, and I was like, good for you,
Have fun.
so
Bye-bye.
that is what we're talking about in this moment. Like, there's like, it's just a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Now this one,
I hate this one.
yes, Jules has a moment with this one, and I get it. This is the good enough girl, and this is the girl.
Eye roll.
Yes, not. This is the girl, I think, that does everything. You're just not there with her. You let her do all these things, but as a man, you're not wooing her, I want to say.
This is when guys say like she's my wifey, but you don't make her the wife.
Yes.
And this reminds me, this was told to me a long time ago. This saying was, why buy the milk when you can get the cow for free?
Ooh, yes. Actually, I'm very much into that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also think that the people who fall in this category, women and men, honestly, they just don't know what they want, but it's a complacent moment. There's not like, it's like, okay, great.
It could also be afraid of commitment, but you're very comfortable in this
Yeah.
situation.
Right, complacent, yeah.
I was at a bar in Delray, and this young guy, I was talking to him, and he was opening up about how he has been with his girlfriend for years and years and years. They live in New York. They live in together, and their roommates status. He doesn't want to be with her anymore, but he doesn't want to like hurt her. And I was like, excuse me, you need to break up with her immediately because you guys are in your 30s. She is prime real estate, my friend. And if you don't want her, you need to let her go so she can find someone that does love her the way she deserves to be loved. Do not waste her time. Don't waste your time.
Oh, right.
Like, don't you want to be with someone or be single and like rage and have a good time?
And find,
you know,
a person who
I'd
isn't
rather
just
go
good enough.
home alone
Yeah.
to an empty bed. I had a good night with my girlfriends, call it a day, than going home to someone that I'm like, oh, I don't want to see that.
That sounds so miserable.
It
like,
does.
That's the loneliest type of lonely.
Yes, it is.
Like you're sleeping next to somebody and you're by yourself.
Yeah.
I felt that before.
Yeah.
I also think, and we're going to get into what you connected to this one. The good enough girl will stay by you.
They will never leave.
They will never leave you.
Because they will always hope
Yes.
that you're going to give them more.
Until they are like fed up. But
yeah.
These good enough girls typically do not leave you for somebody else. They
No.
leave you for themselves.
Yes.
I believe in that.
100%.
And the unfortunate part about the good enough girl is men can't be direct with the good enough girl because she is great. Yeah, because she is great. And they think by stringing her along and giving false hope because you're comfortable is less hurtful to them than breaking it off with him. Nobody wants that. Women, men, anyone. If you don't see the future, move on and leave it in the past. 100%.
Cut the cord.
Yeah.
Put them out of their misery. Guys and girls, if you
100%.
know, just do it.
Yeah, like we're not there.
You're doing yourself and them a favor.
Yes. And life is hard enough
Yeah.
to be next to somebody where you are sleeping next to every night feeling lonely.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Not
Get a pillow
doing it.
like me.
Get a dog like me. Yeah.
Chug.
So my equivalency was because I'm bored.
Now, explain yourself with because I'm bored. Because these are different, I feel. The good enough girl and the because I'm bored is different.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm bored is you know he's never going to leave. You know he's going to do something for you.
Mhm.
You're comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a very harsh way of categorizing it. It's probably not correct. But you're like, he's all right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not mad at it, but I'm not over the moon about it either. You know?
You know what's interesting is now that we're talking about this, because I'm bored, usually the woman is fairly upfront about it not ever being something long term. And it's typically a guy who keeps hoping that it can
maybe
turn
then it falls
into
into
long
the
term.
desperate
Right.
category then.
So a really great example, 500 Days of Summer. Okay, great movie, Zooey Deschanel.
That was so long ago, I don't even remember it.
Gordon, what's his name? Everett Gordon or whatever. It's one of my favorite romantic movies, and here is why. He is in love with her. Okay, he thinks that she's literally the perfect person for him. She doesn't believe in love. And she's with him because he was good enough. And then she's like, all we do is fight now. Like, I want to break up with you. And he's devastated. And he sees this as like his person. And she never believed in love. And he was like, the whimsical one. Well, then she ends up meeting somebody. And she sees him at a bench later. And she's engaged to this guy at this point. And he's like, well, why wasn't it me?
Good
He's
question.
like, I've given up on all the things that I told you. And she literally turns to him, the cynic, the whole movie, and goes, no, you're absolutely right. He's like, well, why wasn't it me? And she was like, everything I was unsure about you, I was actually sure with him. And it takes that. So I'm curious now that we're talking about it.
That goes into our next subject. It's like when you know, you know.
When you know, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone's favorite, the dream girl. It's us. Okay. So we all know who the dream girl is. And this is, you're excited about, you guys are aligned. And I almost don't want to call her the dream girl. This is what was used. I want to call her the real girl, like the girl.
Yeah.
Because I feel like your dream girl.
The one that just checks all the boxes.
Yeah. And boxes you didn't even know you needed. There's just synchronicity there. Like you just know it's going forward and you're just at peace and you're just like, this is it. And time doesn't matter. Like you meet them, look at that cheesy smile.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so before I go on my tangent, let's get into what your equivalent is.
A hard yes.
Woo, woo.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Have you ever had a hard yes moment, Juliana?
Yes.
Interesting. Tell us about it.
Well, I was with my ex. He was a hard yes until it was a hard no.
Yeah.
And then this one now. He is definitely a hard yes.
He is all the yeses.
I'm
All the yes.
it's
like on
boxes.
I know that we're like literally talking about all the movies here, but one of my favorite movies in the entire world is with Kevin Costner, the perfect game. Kevin Costner and what was John Travolta's wife?
I've never seen that movie. We're gonna have to watch it tonight.
Oh my God.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So they have this phenomenal first date and he asks her a question or she asks a question like, oh, like, people should wear signs like that just explain who they are. And it's like, horny or, constipated or whatever. I know those are too terrible. And he was like, well, what would your word say? And she like wrote it because she was a writer and turned it around on a notepad and it said yes. It was like the cutest moment in my life.
Yeah. Hard yes is,
Yeah.
you just know when you know. You like him. He checks all the boxes.
Now, I want to clarify here. You know when you know because of the way that you feel, and there is a difference between the butterfly effect, we can call it,
Yes.
and the actual knowing.
Yeah. I don't think the butterfly thing is a good sign.
No.
I don't. And, they always say that butterflies is actually your nervous system telling you.
Vacate premise immediately.
Yes. For me, it was not the butterflies, it was the calm. And I even told him, I said, it's not effortless because we do put a lot of effort into it, but it's seamless.
Yeah.
Everything we do is just like calm seas. Now we had some hiccups.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Well, and I think you need to explain a little bit further because hiccups are absolutely normal, FYI.
Yeah.
It is not the end of the world. But I think one of the things that you guys have done a really great job of is the hard boundaries when emotions are high.
Yeah, our communication's very healthy. And when we did have a hiccup, we both are Sicilian. So we looked at each other and was like, we're going to take a beat.
Instead of a beating.
I was not prepared for that.
Yeah. That's because,
Yeah.
those Sicilian tempers, okay? Not physical beating, FYI, but they just get hot tempered.
Yeah.
And it
We
escalates.
have a Sicilian rage. I have talked about that in the past.
Yep.
But no, we took a beat and we said we were going to, talk about it in the morning. And we did. And when we woke up, we were so much better and we were both diffused and it was on to the next.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing here is the effort. It's not effortless. Like there's effort that goes into this. There's a lot of history.
Every day.
Yeah.
The moment we wake up and say good morning to each other, it's effort.
It is. And they choose that because they're choosing each other. And I think that is such a beautiful thing. I'm forcing my way into the love bubble. I'm like this. And you were like, oh, I'm just like,
you're here for the ride.
I'm just like, okay, just give me something.
You're here for the ride. And
I love it.
And I'm here for it too.
Yes, 100%.
All the way.
So hard, yes.
Yes.
And I think something that we also talked about is when we were making this list, we have one more FYI before we get too down the rabbit hole. I didn't really know how to categorize men, as we mentioned earlier. Like we've never really done this. I was more like a hard no, hard yes person. The hard yes is the yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not the maybe I want to see where it goes. Like, no, this is like hook, line,
All
sinker, done.
Claws
attached. Her little lioness.
Oh, I told him. I was like, my claws are in you.
Mm.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah. And I've threatened him multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows. I may not be Italian, but I am Irish
He
and
loves you.
German, so just not going
But
to
you have your blinders on. You don't look for anyone. You don't like.
Yeah. I think before we get down a rabbit hole, because I actually do want to say one thing.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of you for this. And I think it does need to be said because we are in your hard yes moment. Is when Jules initially started doing this, there wasn't a lot that anybody knew about the relationship because they kept it between them, which I was a huge, huge support of, because sometimes people can project their own past experiences onto things that are happening within a relationship and provide poor advice. And
Mhm.
realistically, it's your decision to make how you want to move forward with any type of conversation. And I think it's just incredibly admirable about how both of them, even in past projections, are still able to come together and talk about them from a I was hurt, not I was right, you were wrong. It
Mhm.
was, this has happened to me before, and this is why we want to have this conversation. Now, mind you, this has not happened a lot with their relationship in any capacity,
No.
just to clarify.
Yeah.
But the one or two times that I've heard about it, it's literally a conversation and
That's
they
it.
moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just
Well, I told him the other day,
proud
I
of
was
her.
like, this is one of the healthiest relationships I've ever been in. Probably the healthiest relationship I've ever been in.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be the toxic person in the healthy relationship.
No.
And remember, we talked about deprogramming your
Yeah.
brain and like unlearning past behaviors and all that stuff. So it's an effort for sure not to be that person
Mhm.
in that old relationship coming into the new.
Yeah.
I also, you got to show up and do the homework. You got to do it. You got to
Yeah.
get the A. Like all the things. And we're doing it.
And you guys are so curious about each other. And I think really the foundation of your relationship is respect.
Yeah.
Respect for what you have both gone through
Mhm.
and not holding it against each other
No.
because you can't. You're learning a new person. And I'm just loving this, like, seriously, this cheesy moment in our lives. It just
Oh my
makes me
God.
so happy.
You're ridiculous.
All the fromage, as they would say.
All the cheese.
All the cheese. All the cheese. Okay.
Yes.
Moving on now that
Yes.
we've had our little moment.
Yes.
Okay. Last one. Now, I'm going to explain this, how they were saying it, but I feel like I have a difference of an opinion. It's called the out of his league. Now,
Mhm.
the way they explain the out of the league girl is this man will date a woman who is essentially out of his league, whether professionally, personally, whatever it may be. And then slowly but surely, he will start to level himself up. And that's the whole reason he attached to this woman. And then he will start to break her down.
It's a classic narcissist.
Yes.
Tessa. You
Which
should
is
know all of
interesting.
know all about
I
that.
feel like I experienced 8 months of that. Super cute. If you don't know what we're talking about, watch Girl on the Train because we're on, the movie
Yes.
montage this
Yes.
episode. It'll explain everything. Honestly, kind of exactly what happened to me it was hard to watch the other day when I watched it. Totally forgot about it.
You were totally triggered.
Yeah, I had a moment about it.
Yeah.
I look at, when I hear out of his league, I hear the girl, like I almost think like the tech nerd with like the model, maybe.
Yeah, it was like that whole movie.
Yeah.
I think it's called
She's out of my
Your
league.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And
okay.
it's literally like the skinny tech nerd that works in TSA and she left her phone in the security
Mhm.
line and he like runs over and gives it to her and then they start friends and dating and then like end up being together and she is like a 10 and he is like that scrawny little dude.
Agreed. So I think the generalization of out of his league is that definition.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I think the out of his league where he levels himself up to break you down, I think that's a very small percentage of people. So I actually like your definition better.
Yeah.
And I agree with it.
Me too.
And what is our equivalent?
Hard no.
Hard no.
Well, first of all,
Okay, let's
let me say something. I've never looked at a man and said he's out of my league.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
I have looked at a man and said, hard no.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were my Bumble like requests or Hinge requests. And I was like, dude, like, do you even like see my photos? Are you even paying attention? Do you even look in the mirror? No, I'm out of your league.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Not sorry. Said what I said.
Yeah.
Hard no.
Hard no.
And I feel like those hard no's, if I ever met them in person, they would become like a desperate person.
Yeah.
I'm like, go away.
Yeah.
Shoo.
You know, I will say one thing. If said hard no gets in front of dream girl in the wrong vulnerable moment, you'll see it in pictures and reflect back on it and be like, what was I thinking? Yeah. Yeah. Like I did when I showed Jules a picture.
I was like, that's interesting. No wonder you didn't have him around me, because I would have literally made a face and then I'd be like, I don't understand.
Yeah. All of that evidence, that
like I would literally delete all that evidence.
It's deleted. Like, and I have like,
I would have no evidence that I dated.
No.
That.
No.
Yeah, no.
Ugh. Well, you only do it once, and guess what? I did it with the right.
Yeah, and now you're best friends with me. You will never do it again.
Oh, fuck no. Oh, my God. Cheers to that. My God.
Oh
More
my God.
because I'm like, I know who I am now, which took, a minute to get
but
there.
I am interested, like, the good time girl and the good enough girl, I feel like because they are, like, around the friends could actually influence the guy or the girl, like, hey, what are you doing? Like, they're right in front of your face. Like, they're perfect for you. Like, why don't you ever just make that commitment?
I agree. And I think that you went through this with the Slovakian, Bob the Builder.
I fell in love with his friends. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm taking your friends with me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that he was hearing, though, like, you're so amazing. He was just not.
Yeah.
Like, you might have been a moment of out of his league, because I feel like he was even a little bit nervous with you. Like, he didn't
He
want
was
to do or
just-
say the wrong thing.
Yeah, he was just awkward.
Yeah, he was. Okay.
He was just weird.
Yeah. I agree with you,
It was even
actually.
weird when I ran into him the other day. I was like,
Oh, yeah, that's
I
right. forgot about that.
literally had a stomach virus. I was like, I'm about to throw up all over this restaurant. Bye.
Oh, my God. Okay, my microphone's on. I just had a mini moment. Is your microphone?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
God.
Woo. Okay, so I agree with you.
Yes.
I really think any of these girls outside of really the desperate girl, because I think, one, I don't like that word.
No.
Two, I think it depends on who you're talking about. Is she desperate because you let her on, or is she just thirsty after you?
Yeah, I mean, there's so
Thirsty.
many. Oh, God.
Yeah, the thirsty, but I guess
Thirsty is desperate.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of variables that you have to factor in.
yeah.
But
Ooh,
girls are relationship beings. Now, I'm not going to say not
yeah,
not a lot of girls. That's not to say women don't
Yeah.
have a good time and like
yeah.
have flings. That's not what I'm saying at all. But generally, they want to be with their human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And I think that's why we don't categorize men.
we don't.
Like, it's either
It's like
yes or no.
no. Yeah,
Like, there is not like, he's gonna.
and
No.
in friend zone, I will say this: friend zone does not happen with.
No, for me, friend zone happens in the first like 5 minutes.
I agree with that.
I either do or I don't.
No. Me too. I'm a hard yes, hard no person. In fact, like
Or in my
over-
me era. Yeah. Because I friend
My
zoned
me-
my boyfriend in 5 minutes. But it was just because I was not mentally ready to do anything.
I agree.
And then I liked him.
See, when I wasn't mentally ready to do anything, I was still out there being fun and flirty in my 20s. Like I talked about in previous episodes, I was a pretty savage, but I was so upfront. Like there was no question on what I was doing. It wasn't until later on in my 20s, like 28, 29, where I like met somebody who I actually had like real feelings for, that I realized I'm kind of past that whole like trying to figure out if they're my friend or not, the situationship, you know what I mean? So like I stopped categorizing because it was either a yes or a no for me back then. And then I started realizing like I want that best friend mentality. Like I want
you want that as like your foundation.
Yes. And I think it's important.
I get that, but you're looking at the list and guys would fuck any of these.
No, I agree.
Categories. We look at this list and girls won't do the hard nose and the friend zone. We just won't. Like we're not there. We're like, we're not in it.
I agree. And we're going to talk a little bit about the situationship. And then we're going to circle back to, well, what happens when one of these categories expands?
The science.
Yes, we have science.
Yes.
Bill Nye came with us today. Not really.
I loved him growing up.
I did too.
I know.
Or what's her name on the Magic School Bus?
I used to watch him on the Channel 1 news, something.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about situationships earlier.
Yes.
We talked about how women get to a point where they're like, but I'm in love with you.
And then you become desperate.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So there is a scientific, chemical reason why.
Mm-hmm.
So oxytocin, also known as the love hormone. Okay. Rihanna, love on the brain, real thing.
Yes.
Okay. When a woman orgasms, it creates oxytocin. Okay. So the more you have sex with somebody, or if you're a multiple like I am, one time can do the trick, you create so much oxytocin in your system that you are in love. Now, men do not create oxytocin.
No, they release testosterone.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, when they're in love, then they release it. So basically the situationship, or people ghosting you or like sleeping with you and not calling you back or whatever it may be, is you thinking it meant something is because your brain and your body was literally in love with that person. It's a chemical reaction.
Yeah. Which really sucks.
Yeah, it's not a choice.
I know. Your body is literally releasing a chemical.
Yeah.
And he is not. But then what if when the guy finally falls in love with you, you're just like, I'm over.
I mean, I guess
you haven't been really,
I guess he just has to get you off and you're right back
like
there.
Women and men, or girls and boys, like let's look at the playground.
Yeah.
We are emotionally mature at 33 and guys are at 41. We're always like not in sync.
Yeah, that's very true.
And now we're not even in sync in bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was a hard pill for me to swallow because I'm like, it makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
but once you have them, ladies, you have them.
Yeah. I agree with that. I just think it's very, I think that women put a lot of pressure and expectation on partners that were so great and then ended.
You can have a great lover.
Yeah. Well, you can have a great love story and it still end.
Yeah.
The bottom line is you can't be standing in the doorway alone and the only one walking through it. If you're with somebody,
100%.
they got to move forward with you. If they're not, you should be with somebody who wants to move forward with you. It's just somebody who James called it a numbers game on one of our episodes.
Yeah.
You just got to get through it until you meet the right person. And that's okay. And for me, contrary to a couple episodes ago where I had a moment, which by the way, I'm not going to annihilate any men. Okay. I'm back in my normal Tessa human form. I'm not malicious or mean in any capacity.
Yes.
My point of that comment was if they can get me on the first date. But I am direct, but I am nice
She's in
about
her
it.
softer moment.
Yes. Trying.
She's not a concrete wall. She's not a sledgehammer.
I'm trying. I'm like drying concrete.
I know.
Okay, so don't let me harden over.
Yes.
Yes. She's helping me with that with her love bubble rubbing off on me. Yes. Thank you. I am like literally just like love everything right now. I feel so light and free.
I feel like
happy.
I feel like you're gonna meet your person this year. I just have a feeling.
I agree with it. I agree with that. Absolutely. I have a feeling. And I think the biggest difference is I'm okay if it's not this year. I'm okay if it's not next year. I'm okay when it happens.
Yeah.
I'm getting very, very comfortable loving.
I mean, you're still so much younger than me. I met my person at 39.
Yeah. Well, you
have time.
I have time. I knew that. My mom had me when she was 38, 39. So like, I'm not worried about it.
No.
And I'm just learning to love the questions right now. Like, I don't need all the answers. Like, I am genuinely just, like every time I crawl into my bed, I tell you.
Oh my God.
I am obsessed with my bed.
I know.
Like I crawl into my bed, I love my bed. I wake up in the morning, like, oh my God, I love my bed. And I'm just like sprawled out in it. Anyway, I will meet my person. I just need a person. If anyone watches Landman, she actually turned me on to it. Fucking love it. Anything Billy Bob Thornton, I'm literally 100% in. But I need my Tommy Norris, who is Billy Bob Thornton's character, because I am Angela. Okay.
Oh my God, fucking nuts.
Big in everything that she does. Okay. Big in emotion, big in loving, big in being crazy. And really the turning point for me, and when I was watching it, it made me realize is when her and her daughter got drunk.
At the country club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I watched this and I realized like this is the type of man I need, and he threw her in the pool. Yeah. And I was like, that's the guy I need, who just knows who I am. Like, don't give her another margarita. The dress is going to be on the fan. And he's just like, enjoy. Like, got it.
You're
like,
dancing with the devil.
Yeah, I just like more grounded because I am. But the good thing is like I'm a motherfucker. I will love you to the end of time. Like,
totally.
You're never getting rid of me.
I get it.
Yeah. So
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm open to it. I'm not gonna annihilate anyone at the bar.
No.
If I'm not interested, you'll know. I've never not been that way. Like, right away if I'm not interested. Because I say it.
Yeah.
But in order
to do all the things.
To
fit into any of these
categories. Or maybe some that you guys tell us.
I honestly am interested in to hear, like, because we always hear from the girls. I want to hear from the guys. Don't be shy.
I want to know if this is real, too.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys talk about it between your friends? And you're like, she's so fucking desperate? Or do you have a internal dialogue going like, I'm really wasting her time. She has a good time, but I'm just not going to get there with her.
Yeah.
I really want to know. And you will be anonymous.
You will be anonymous, yes. But I'm actually very curious. Or is this because BTW, that's by the way, for those younger listeners out there.
Acronyms.
Yeah. This was done by a list by women from men, and I'm not really sure where they got it from the men, but there were multiple videos saying the same exact thing. Yeah. So I'm curious to know who started to know more about, like, I didn't know these categories. I didn't even think, because I'm obviously either dream or out of their league.
I'll think to that.
Yeah. All right. So Carpe diem, bitches.
Avi.
Mm-hmm. Duh. Or your nightmare.
I'm afraid. Be very afraid.
Thank you for watching this episode of Karaoke Wine. Please like and subscribe.